Okay, so I pulled the billet I forged out of the lime. It cooled all night. I cleaned it up on the belt grinder, and my last fold of the bar didn't weld, so I had to re-weld it, and I figured I'd get some slag inclusions, and it looks like it did. I'll get a close-up on that for you, but I went ahead and marked out with the Sharpie where I'm going to cut it. I'm going to reheat this in when I go after I drill my holes for patterning. I'm going to try to split this open and get that to re-weld correctly. If it works, great. If it doesn't, well, it is what it is. I wouldn't use it as part of the bar anyway. So I got this much that's still good, which ain't too bad. It's kind of disappointing. Usually I'm better than that, but I'll get you a close-up. We're doing the raindrop pattern. This is a 1/4 inch drill bit. I'm just gonna go down until the shoulders of the drill bit reach the surface of the metal, and then when I heat it back up to welding heat, I'm gonna hammer it down, and the bottoms of each drill will become the top, so it'll look like concentric rings coming out. Okay, so I got the forge heating up. I got the other billet in there that I'm going to do the W patterns on. And I got handles falling on. This billet I cut in half. This part was the good part. You can see all the 1/4 inch holes in it. I'll forge that down. This will be raindrops. Right now it's right about 3/8 of an inch thick. Probably a hair under. And I'm going to be forging it down to about 1/8 of an inch. I'll leave it a little bit thick, probably more like 150 thereabouts. So this is probably going to make at least 2, hopefully. Yeah, probably just two folders. And then we got this one. I kind of did a test cut to see how deep it went, and it went farther than that, so I don't know if you can kind of see the slag inclusion still right here. When I'm going to heat this up, I kind of got it started cold right there, so I can get my chisel in there and try to open this all back up. Hopefully with it hot, what little welds there are will split right open. You can kind of see how bad it is on this side too. So if I can get this split open, I can clean it up and put more flux in there and hopefully get this to weld back down. I'll probably just leave this as a random pattern because it's going to get pretty thin at that point. So that's the plan for this one. use the W1 forge down. It's not sharp, but it's because it has a slightly rounded point. If it was sharp, then it being so hot, it'd get rounded over anyway and dull up and possibly get stuck in the work. But I welded a piece of E36. I think it's 5/8 on the top, kind of flattened it up so that the die hits it pretty good. But I use E36 because this is going to be softer than my 4140 dies, so it won't mar up the dies. When you're cutting with this, you have to be careful not to cut all the way through your work. I cut and leave about an 1/8 inch. That seems to be more than enough to hold it all together and easy to pull. So that's what my cutoff tool looks like. I'll probably eventually put a square handle so it's a little easier to hold, because with the round handle it sometimes wants to roll when the hammer hits it, so it can be kind of hard to control that way. But it works out good. Saves me a lot of arm work. Here's what the W pattern turned out like. I did a quick etch on it. It's about 1.5 by 1.5 square. Okay, so I got the wood for my handle material cut out. This is roughed out. I got the same drill bit, I think it's the number 44, number 45, that I used for the minor diameter for tapping these holes. And since drill bits don't cut on the sides, they only cut on the point, we don't have to worry about these threads that are already threaded. We can just drill them on through, and this will line up our holes for attaching our handle material on perfectly, with no measurement at all, just real dumb, easy stuff. So I got my vise here so I can still hold on to it with the vise grips. So the 2 holes are drilled. Now I'm going to do this to the other scale, and then I'll come in and I'll drill it out to, I want to say it's 80 something thou. I'll double check it for the screws to pass through, and then I'll countersink. Okay, this is a step drill bit. The point on it is 85 thou, and the outside is big enough for the screw head. Looks like 156. So this will center the drill in the hole, and then we can countersink the depth for our screw head. The way I do it is I got a collar here, so I'm going to set this collar to 0, put just a little bit of tension on it, set my handle material in, come down, and at the same time that collar is, we're going to just eyeball about halfway down. Then we're going to finish tightening down that set screw. Now all the holes will be the same depth because it's got to stop. Okay, so on this part I've got my platen here angled, and this allows me to make an angle here. So the bolster will hold this end of the scale down. It makes a nice, almost fish mouth looking on the back. Turns out real nice. So to get that, we set the angle once, and I'll show you how to match both sides. So we're going to start out with the bolsters. This is our Damascus bolsters, and we get one nice square edge right here. So we're going to grind this until that angle just meets that edge. And we're going to take our handle material, flip it over, so screws them up, and do the same thing. Okay, so now I got the scale on there. I got my bolster ground, and they fit together perfectly. Now I can go ahead and drill the holes for my bolster so I can keep it butted up flat to the wood. Okay, this is how far we've gotten. We countersunk our pivot pin hole. You can see the back side has a really nice pretty dovetail to it. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to get this kind of put together. I got to grind down the stop pin so it's the appropriate height to fit in there. Get the blade put in there. Get the spacers put in, and then we can finish grind this, because you can see it's not quite flat together. Once it's all put together, we can do our finish grinds on that in all these areas, so they fit the way they're supposed to. We got Doug, my apprentice over here. He's only done heat treating twice now? Twice. So it's been a while since he's done it, so I'm going to walk you through it again, and you get to see us do it. This one is W1, and we're going to heat treat this for alone, so only the cutting edge is going to get to orange, and the back is going to stay pretty much black, is what it's going to look like. And then we're going to punch it in our oil. This is, you can't see it now, but it's 50% used engine oil, 50% used transmission fluid. And Doug's probably going to lose some hair on the table. That's alright, we did it before doing it. But, so the back burner in my forge here is hotter than the front burner. And I think I got it plugged up there. So you're going to work with the back burner. Go as deep as I can. Yeah, go as deep as you can. You got to remember this tip's going to get hot. move it. Forward and back. There you go. Keep it moving. Forward and back. You see how that one spot's getting warm now? So start working towards the tip a little bit. You see that tip getting warm?
Yep.
Try to keep that heat all even on that whole cutting edge. So right now your cutting edge is around 800 degrees, so it's climbing up pretty fast. Yep, keep it moving back and forth. I look at the tip a little bit more. Just keep an eye on it. See, it's starting to turn color.
Turn color.
Try to get it all even, all the way along. All right, pull it up. And we dunked it tip down.
Yep.
Okay, you can pull it out and let the excess oil drip off of it, and wipe it with the rag. Okay, now put it in the water. Just finish cooling off. What you heard there is the tongs being hot. You can set that on the anvil and then cool off your tongs because they're going to get warm after the next two knives. So you can see what part hardened. You got the excess carbon in the oil. It's on the surface of the steel here, but it absorbed into the metal here. So it not only did it cool the metal, it also added a case hardening. So it's now over 1% carbon here for this W1. So it's even harder than W1 can normally get. Now this one here is leaf. This is 5160 old leaf spring, and this is W1. Because this one has a gut hook, we're gonna treat these two the same, because this gut hook needs to be hard. So it's gonna be hard to get that hamon with no clay. So we're gonna do that one first, and you're gonna want to hold that in the forge, tip up, blade up, just like you did. But you're gonna wait for the whole knife to get the same color, which is about the color of the forge. You don't necessarily have to move it as much. You want to keep it blade up to prevent warping. And you're just going to wait for it all to turn about that same color orange as the forge. See where it's heating first? That's usually where it's thinner.
Yep. It's getting there.
And if you look on the side there, you can see the gut hook where you need it hot, where you need it hard. We can almost quench it right now. It's a little too warm though. Yeah, stick it in. It's not quite all the same temperature. It looks different on the camera. You want it a little bit hotter towards the back. You see where it's a little darker in the back there? Alright, now you can quench it. Doug is now putting a spring temper on the back of the knife with the torch. Getting a little warm there, Doug. Just to where it turns purple. You can go out towards the tip more. There you go. Just be careful out there. Oh, whoa. That's you got it way too hot out there.
You can go all the way down. You can't heat that.
that up red and just dip that camera, because then it'll be unequal all the way down.
Yeah, because then you'll have a stress riser line. Right here you got too hot, and right there you got too hot. Can you see it?
Yep.
This is what you're going for.
Okay.
Right in there. So it's, you want to just keep moving your flame off with a knife, because that's when the air hits it, is when it oxidizes.
Right.
I'll show you your colors. And just as when they start turning, that's when you just want to start, you know, following it down like that.
Okay. This one we don't have to do that with.
Doug rehardened this. What did you do to these? These were my best pair. What the fuck, Doug?
I don't know. You tell me. It's your best pair.
So I'll just see how it's starting to turn there.
Uh-huh.
So I'm watching this top edge.
Yeah, so we're turning to purple.
So when it gets all the way over, that means it's hot all the way through.
Right.
And now we got it down there, so I'm just gonna work the heat down and work it across. Kind of keeps it from getting too hot.
And the vise is the heat sink.
Yep. And you'll see that it'll keep getting hot because there's thermal mass up here that's hot, so it's gonna, you can already see it forcing the heat down and turning colors. So.
Yeah. Okay.
And by the time you get it to the end, it's not down far enough, you can always add a little bit more heat and force it down, you know what I mean? That's how I control it, especially for a knife that's not as wide. Usually I gotta be careful towards the tip because you know it's thinner.
Right.
There's no heat sink out there, so. You don't need that purple all the way down to the vise shot. It'll turn color on its own.
You think?
Maybe work it towards the tip just a little bit more.
I'm nervous about the tip.
Yeah, just be real ginger with it. Work just the top edge. See how you're just slowly getting it to work. That looks good. Now, over the next couple minutes, as it cools, the heat's going to go towards the vise.
So it's going to drive it down.
Yeah, because the vise is soaking up heat faster than the air, so it's going to pull the heat out of the knife that way. So it's going to heat up that steel a little bit. And then all of these knives are going to go in the oven at 400 degrees for 2 hours.
Okay.
So that concludes episode 3. Got some forging done, some heat treating. Got a little bit farther on the folder. Hopefully next video, over the next few days, I'll get that folder done so you guys can see that finished. I got a Damascus blade going in there. It's part of that random pattern that I managed to save. I need to get going on some of the Warren Cliff production run. I got 4 more of those to make. So probably going to get hot and heavy into that. I may not shoot some video of that. And this video is already getting towards 30 minutes long, so thanks for watching. Stay tuned, subscribe, check out the website. Find me on Facebook, Thomas Van Crevelen, or Last Frontier Knives. Also lastfrontierknives.com, my website. It hasn't been updated in a while, I apologize, but hopefully I'll get that issue fixed in my spare time. Thanks again. Leave a comment. All your input is appreciated.